heavyweight showdown of this season's Champions League round of 16 players.
Kimmich with a good effort.
Rexco's available for the short pass, and then Alphonso Davies as well. Shooting once and a shot. Alphonso Davies with a cross, brilliantly played. Coman, super goal, straight to the goalkeeper, has to be said. But Bayern Munich lead, and muted celebrations from the former PSG boy. Kingsley Coman strikes for Bayern Munich.
Well, he makes a mistake, Donnarumma, no question about that. Goes underneath his body. That's been the key for Bayern for much of the game. Just lofted into the box. Ramos does well to get some sort of power in it, but always going over the crossbar.
And the unbeaten run comes to an end, and his team has it all to do in Munich. They were better in the second half with Mbappe, but they've gone away with defeat here, Paris Saint-Germain, and they chase the tie now. PSG 0, Bayern Munich 1.
Okay, so that was the result of game between PSG and Bayern. So the internal problem of PSG continues. Maybe Garcia has already activated the firing button ahead of the region leg. With that, we'll welcome you to Kickoff Sports Show this morning, the first half of AM Updates. My name is Oladapo Kunubi, aka Young Striker 9. Favor Lawrence is also here this morning, looking like somebody that puts money on PSG, but you know, the money did not come as expected. Good morning to you.
Good morning. I actually felt for PSG yesterday. 2 goals ruled out, and that was not good. But
not good.
It wasn't good. It's not a good start for them. It's not about Tatete. Yeah, we all know that PSG is in some sort of crisis, but they scored 2 goals. VAR ruled it out on offside.
Was the goal scored in the right way?
I didn't watch it.
So that's the thing. So you can't say it is wrong. You cannot say that was bad.
Wrong.
No.
I've said I feel for PSG.
But you said that was bad.
It's bad because
it is not bad. You scored the right way. Even Brentford that scored the wrong way, and you know, Ateta came out yesterday that the only thing you can do for us is to, you know, cancel the goal and give us our 3 points. Can that work? Come on, this is football, right? You are sounding like a PSG fan, but I mean, it is what it is. Bayern played their game.
Okay, I'm not sounding like a PSG fan. Yesterday, Tottenham played
AC Milan,
and Tottenham didn't win that game. I just felt for PSG. That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
why are you saying
because
I sound like a PSG fan?
Okay,
good morning, everyone. Oladapo Kunubi wants to put words in my mouth this morning. I am not going to fall for his trap this morning.
You've already fallen for the trap.
I just said my mind. I am not
Madam
doing
Shera,
that.
is she? Okay, so we look at update from the world of tennis this morning. Look at Formula One. Look at NBA. But let's start with Formula One. Remember, Ferrari yesterday, you know, unveiled their car ahead of the new Formula One season, and Charles Leclerc is adamant that Mercedes will fight Red Bull and Ferrari for the Formula One title in 2023, and believes Lewis Hamilton can lead their recovery as the legendary driver still has it. But we don't know what he's got. We don't know what he has. Let us wait to see what the Silverstone can come up with.
Is it what he has or what the car can give to him?
That is another thing. I mean, if you're a good driver and, you know, the car engine is not good enough for the season, that's another problem.
It's the problem they faced last season. So
maybe even the rules is not even favoring them.
Anyhow, I just know that whomever it is that is going to pick that
the Silverstone car,
whatever that they want to pick in Formula One, it's just going to be on them, because I'm not even interested in that sport because of the rules and everything. It's just too much.
Don't worry, it is not your fault.
Today you get Mercedes, tomorrow you get Ferrari.
No. Here is about you having a driver that is more consistent. But when your driver is consistent, it's a different thing. And saying that the rules is favoring your team, also look at the engine of your team. So that is why you have a Red Bull, you know, dominate. They dominated last season, they dominated 2 seasons ago, but now they are all scared that Mercedes can turn things around, turn the tables around. And it's just like Mercedes is also suffering from, you know, the rules that have changed. So, but let's just move away from Formula One and let's talk tennis this morning with what is happening in Argentina. Playing in his hometown in Buenos Aires, Francisco Cerundolo avenged his younger brother's defeat at the Argentina Open by defeating Yannick Halfman 624675. On Tuesday, Francisco younger brother Juan Martin has been eliminated by a farm in the qualifying stage, but the fifth seed got one back on the German after leading the breakpoint opportunities 17-6. But looking at our other tennis tournaments, most especially for those going down today, we've got one going down in Rotterdam. But let's just quickly look at the results of games decided in at the Argentina Open.
Okay, Dominic Thiem is through, winning Alex Mokan 7-6, 6-3, and then we have Juan Pablo Varez also through to the next round, winning 6-2, 7-5 against Jean Soisseux. Well, we have other players that will be going down today.
Roberto Cabela's Biena will be up against Thomas Echeverry as Facundo Acosta will take on Cameron Norrie. But looking at the Rotterdam Open, Benjamin Bonzi will take on Jannik Sinner as a team Vanig. Rick Hoven will take on Maxima Cressy by 11 o'clock. Those two games going down 11 o'clock by 12:30. Stan Wawrinka will take on Richard Gasquet as Olga Noska-Rune will be up against Kostant Lechton, and Hubert Ukaz against Giga Dimitrov as Quentin Hales will be up against Botis van Zaklup. Moving away from tennis this morning, let us quickly also dash away and talk about the NBA this morning, where Giannis Antetokounmpo sent an injury scare through the Milwaukee Bucks camp late on Tuesday. Their victory 131-125 overtime victory over Boston Celtics. Maybe good news for the team, most especially for those also going for the All-Star games. But let's look at other results decided in the NBA. Remember, Toronto Raptors defeated Orlando Magic's 123-1, 13 points.
Well, Phoenix Suns defeated Sacramento Kings 120 points to 109 points. LA Clippers clipped the wings of Golden State Warriors 134 points to 124. Portland Trail Blazers did the Washington Wizards bad by winning they did them good by losing 101 points to 126 points.
Favor, madam, good and bad. I think you've seen the movie, The School of Good and Evil.
I just like the word.
Have you seen the movie?
No, what's it?
Have you seen the movie, The School of Good and Evil?
No, I just like the word.
Go and check the movie on Netflix.
I just like the word agathocacological.
Neighbor?
Agathocacological.
This is not smart brain. Okay, so let's talk about the NPFL. Shooting Stars will be playing on the road against Enyimba International. Remo Stars is back in Ibadan. So looking at the fixtures of games going down the midweek, and it is going to be the match day 8. It's the match day 8 of the NPFL. Bendel Insurance will hope to continue their unbeaten run where they host Nasarawa United today, 4 o'clock. Same time, Dakar FC's battling Sunshine Stars of Akure. Abia Warriors on the road against Doma United. Enyimba FC of Aba hosting Shooting Stars. Kwara United in Ibadan taking on Remo Stars. Niger Tornadoes against Bayelsa United. Plateau United taking on El Kanemi Warriors, while Wiki Tourist of Bauchi will be up against Lobby Stars. And let's talk women football before we talk about the Premier League game going down tonight.
Okay, 9-time African champions Nigeria arrived in Leon, a state of why is this so long? Guanajuato, Mexico on Monday ahead of the Four Nation Women's Revelation Cup tournament taking place 15th to 21st February in that city.
Well, it's starting today.
Yes, it's starting today. Host Mexico, Nigeria, Costa Rica, and Colombia are the participating teams at the tournament, which has been objective of preparing the contestants for the 9th FIFA Women's World Cup finals in Australia and New Zealand this summer. Well, all 4 participating teams are headed for the finals down under, and the Super Falcons will play the first game of the tournament against Oates, Mexico, starting at 4 p.m. Mexico time. That's going to be 10 p.m. Nigerian time on Wednesday today.
Okay, so let's move away from that. Let's go straight. Remember, there's going to be a Premier League game today, which is going to be a decider. Arsenal versus Manchester City.
Arsenal actually made a big mistake not winning Bradford over the weekend.
Okay,
and
so
now
no. I want you to continue before I hit you, but I don't want to hit you hard.
And Manchester City, made a good one. But I don't know about this match today. It's going to be the decider, like you said. It's going to be between Arsenal and Manchester City.
Favor, you were saying that it was bad that they did not count, they did not, pick the goals of PSG last night against Bayern. Hello.
What?
Brentford scored an offside goal, and the POGML in the Premier League went to apologize to Arsenal. That goal was an offside, but the referee, the man behind the VAR failed to draw the line. And come on, it has happened. However, the man has been stepped down for the next few games in England. But I mean, mistake has happened, but there are some mistakes that you don't just say it was a mistake. It was you can't not call that an oversight, but it is either you suspend that referee, because now if you look at 3 points, you've given 1 point. So Arsenal lost 2 points, so Manchester City will just jump on that opportunity.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens today. If Arsenal wins the game tonight, then we can say Arsenal is good to go for the Premier League title. But here is Mikel Arteta, who's saying that he wasn't satisfied. He was satisfied, but not happy with the decision to also tell the referee to step down.
Yeah, we ended the game after analyzing all the evidence that we had on the images with a huge anger and disappointment, because that wasn't a human error. That was a big not conceiving and understanding your job, and that's not acceptable. I'm sorry. And that cost Arsenal 2 points. And that's not going to be restored. So we're going to have to find those 2 points somewhere else in the league. But at the same time...
So who will give us now the remaining 2 points? Is it the Premier League? Is it the VAR guys?
They have to give themselves their 2 points back. Find a way.
Trevor, you are not making me happy with this money. But I like the way we are. I know you are against Arsenal. But I know Ezekiel will not be happy with this. If he's listening to me in Plateau State.
Honestly, I'm not against Arsenal. I wasn't happy, or I'm not happy with the way it's going down for Arsenal. When Arteta signed Jorginho, signed Trossard, I mentioned it. I said this is going to be a big disaster for Arsenal. I said it, and I knew that something was going to happen. I'm feeling like Arsenal is losing their hold on wanting to have that title in the Premier League.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
they're
now
losing focus.
Okay, they have to be focused.
Focus. I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I'm not happy with the way it's going for them.
What to be focused? I like that. All right, let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. Remember last night, AC Milan defeated Tottenham Hotspur, and I saw that coming. You cannot have a Hugo Lloris injured and you bring in just any goalkeeper. That's it. So Tottenham has conceded 5 goals in 2 matches, 4 in the Premier League, 1 in the UEFA Champions League. But here is Antonio Conte talking about the team playing a good football, and they can be back returning to England, playing against the Italian side.
I think we played against a good team. Don't forget Milan last season won the league in Italy. Yeah, I think that to consider the first goal, yeah, we can do much better. I think we can do much better. Instead, we consider a goal maybe after only 5 minutes. Then we try.
Okay, so remember tonight we've got 2 games going down, and that is Club Brugge taking on Benfica, and
Dortmund will be taking on Chelsea.
Well, talking about that, ahead of that game, a lot of people have been downplaying Chelsea against Borussia Dortmund, and looking at what Betway is saying this morning, there's a high odds on Chelsea, 3.2 to win, 3.05 to win, and for Borussia Dortmund to win is 2.43 and 2.45. But Aubameyang inactive, Badiashile, Broha, Conte, Madueke, Mendy, Pulisic, Sterling will not be able to play tonight. But just 3 players will miss that of Borussia Dortmund: Mokoko, Murabosa, Wolf. But hey, here is the Graham Potter who's saying the new players on board are gelling.
Well, we've got a squad that we have. It's a Chelsea squad. It's a squad that we're really excited about. But at the same time, we know there are challenges. We know there's work that we have to do. And whenever you're forming a new group, if all of us just started to work together, we'd have to take some time, and we'd have to understand each other, and understand what makes us tick, and understand how we can help each other. But I must say that's the impression I get when I see the boys on a daily basis. Is good spirit, good harmony. They're pushing each other in a good way. We had a good training session tonight.
Okay, so we wish Potter, we wish the players all the best. You know.
I just hope his hope and his enthusiasm and his positivity brings them to win.
All right, guys, we moved. All right, shout out to Agubiade Sheriff, Shegu Afolabi, this morning for your messages on our Facebook page. Now we look at headlines on the pages of Nigerian newspapers. Damola Lafewa is on the other side this morning. Damola Lafewa, how you doing? Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, guys.
So yesterday was Valentine.
Yes, it was.
Should we expose what we discussed yesterday? But don't let us do that. So, I mean, being a married man, were you really, in the mood of Valentine yesterday?
Let me say, Valentine.
Spit it out.
Yes, Valentine is a day that shouldn't, or is a time. Celebrating love shouldn't be restricted to only Valentine's. Let me just put it that way.
Laughy wants to. Laughy let's go
you said you don't want us to expose. You don't want to expose. Do you want me to really go there?
Don't go there. I just asked you a question.
I've given you a sentence now. Celebration of love should be done every day, not that we wait until Valentine. And what people do on Valentine's Day these days is not really. I went around the city at night yesterday, and what I saw.
You went around the city yesterday.
I was on the road.
Okay.
Wait,
you were looking for No, he was looking for fuel.
I wasn't looking for
you went
You were looking
round
for
the
cash.
city.
I
Wait,
wasn't looking for cash.
you guys, please just let us, give a deep analysis to what you just said.
You
now.
will do the analysis
You
later.
went round the city.
Let me say I was on the road.
You were on the road.
At the evening time, as past 7, and I saw lots of things which weren't too nice. In the name
Along Ring Road, Abby.
In the name of celebrating Valentine's Day.
Please tell us the area.
Maybe that will be for another program.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we'll move to the other side. Do not go anywhere.
Solutions 93.9 FM.
Adélabú sọmọlúwàbí o, orí lóye. Adébáyọ̀ sọmọlúwàbí ẹ̀, orí lóye. Má ṣe gómìnà kára ó tù wá pẹ̀sẹ̀, orí lóye.
Ẹgbẹ̀je nìràwọ̀ ọ̀kan ṣoṣo lòṣùpá ọlọ́ọ̀ba ló fòṣùpá jọba tó fi gba ìjú ẹgbẹ̀je ìràwọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí Fadébáyọ̀ Adékọ́lá ojúlówó ọmọ Adélabú pẹ̀ǹkẹ̀lẹ̀ mẹ́sì máa túyà gbàǹso ìtàkùn tó ní kẹrin má gòkè àlọ́ tòun tẹ̀rín ló ń lọ gbogbo èèyàn ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ló ń retí Adébáyọ̀ Adélabú fún ipò gómìnà kí ara ó lè tù wá pẹ̀sẹ̀ ẹni tí ó fúnni lásọ tọrùn ẹ̀ láwò ibi gíga ló ti ń bọ̀ àwọ̀ ọba ò sì fọ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ó tún rẹni rebi bó ti ń ṣe fàlejò ló ń ṣe fónílé àbálàjọ tí òkìkí ọmọ Adélabú fi ń gbalẹ̀ bí ọ̀wọ̀ àrà òjò látòkè ògùn délẹ̀ Ìbàràpá Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́ Ọ̀yọ́ Aláàfin àti Ìbàdàn ní tilétoko ló sọ pé bókùràwọ̀ kan lójú ọ̀run tí ẹ làwọn ń ṣe àtàǹpàkò làmì ẹgbẹ́ wa Accord Party ló lé téńté lórí ìwé ìdìbò dìbò rẹ fún olóyè Adébáyọ̀ Adélabú OFR Accord Oneness and Progress.
Are you looking for a number one stop choice for quality meals, pastries, and food heart? Then Paris Bakery is here to fulfill your satisfaction. Paris Bakery is giving out free complimentary tea breaks to the first 20 people to get breakfast in the next 2 weeks. That way, you get to enjoy complimentary tea breaks like Spanish noodles with egg sauce, boiled yam with egg sauce, fried yam with tomato sauce, plantain with beef sauce, chips and gas meat, noodles with chicken sauce, golden yam and chicken sauce, boiled yam with liver sauce, chips and chicken sauce, and boiled potatoes with egg sauce. So why not walk into Paris Bakery building at Ring Road adjacent Move 21 Event Center, Ibadan, and get yours free. Grab the sofa while it still lasts and give yourself a great food experience. For more information, call 091 151 1515 or 0810 075 2752. Paris Bakery, all for you.
Great people of Oyo South Senatorial District, what do you want?
Freedom, development, youth empowerment.
That is right. Here is another 4 years opportunity to get it right in Oyo South Senatorial District. Cast your vote for Honorable Oluwasegun Theophilus Oladimeji Otto under the auspices of Labour Party as our representative at the National House of Assembly, Senate. Otto, a man of the people, credible and intelligent leader, social transformer, an advocate for youth empowerment, always. On this note, market men and women, artisans, civil servants, students across all levels, social groups, religious houses, and many others. Vote for Honorable Oluwasegun Theophilus Oladimeji Otto to represent Oyo South Senatorial District on the Labour Party with the logo of a father, mother, and children. Let's do it together. No carryover. Vote for Otto. Labour Party! Forward ever!
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
Okay, it's 9:21 on Solutions 93.9 FM. It's an AM update, and this is from the daily segment. My name is Adi Damala Lafenwa, and I've got the Vanguard and the Punch newspapers with me this morning.
Right here with me is the Nigerian Tribune and the Nation. My name is Favor Olorunthola.
Okay, let's kick off the stories from the Vanguard newspaper. The headlines now. Tinubu will be next. Okay, Tinubu will be next president, God willing. That is a statement credited to General Muhammadu Buhari, retired. Ensure conducive atmosphere for elections. Army Chief task GOC's commanders. And from the Vanguard, elections ignore sit-at-home order or Aneze. Supreme Court strikes out NNPP case against Uba Sani INEC. And still from the Vanguard, Naira redesign political promoters intercede. Wike. Energy demand in Africa to increase by 35%. Kyari. Court orders Benue government to pay retirees 26.3 million naira. Okay, these are some of the from the pages of the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
Okay, the Nigerian Tribune is looking all red this morning. I guess the memo wasn't gotten. It's like today is Valentine's Day for the Nigerian Tribune. But let's see. No to interim government. Afenifere insists. Do not eat up politics. DSS wants politicians. Currency as legal tender. Federal government, CBN to take stance today. Presidency, that's on page 4. And on the ordinary notes, the headline, the major one here on the Nigerian Tribune says, no need to extend February 10 deadline in Emefiele. Whenever I see this name, I remember the video I saw yesterday on this particular name. But let's see, fireworks as Supreme Court entertains federal government objection today. Ogun flies application to join Kaduna Zamfara. Kogi suit against federal government. CBN set to arrest prosecutor the front POS outlets, banks in Bayelsa. We also have the distributors threaten to reject newspaper from sales rep in Kwara. Article in Enugu says PDP will form next government. And Tinubu in Imo promises to continue APC's program. The stories you can find on the page or in the pages of the Nigerian Tribune.
Okay, I'm moving to the Punch newspaper this morning. Buhari urges UAE president to lift blanket visa ban. Boss Mustafa unveils presidential transition committee. New Naira, Ganduje threatens to revoke banks' licenses. That sounds interesting. Fani Kawade's interrogation not over, says DSS. Elections, Obaseki task media on peaceful, inclusive reportage. 12 parties signed peace accord in Ogun. And moving further, New Naira, I cannot boast of 20,000 naira cash, says Oluwo of Iwo.
Okay.
Oluwo of Iwo, okay. Oluwo of Iwo. Okay, those are the headlines from the Punch newspaper this morning.
We also had this headline on the Valley newspaper, but let me skip it and move to the giant one here on the Nation newspaper as legal giants knock Emefiele for disrespecting the Supreme Court. We talk about this on the show this morning. We have a guest that will be talking to us about it. And CBN governors, no extension of deadline. Position raises dust as Apex Bank lose boss queues at ATM points artificial. Presidency, no action taken yet. Tinubu will deliver as president, Buhari tells supporters in Imo rally. And that's the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. We're moving over to the burning issue of the day, and then we introduce our guest for today. Burning issue, the sound that we have is the voice of the CBN governor. That's Godwin Emefiele saying
the man in the news these days.
The man in the news, in the mouths of a lot of people, even those that do not know the name before, already know the almighty governor of CBN, Godwin Emefiele. The God himself in the name self shows that indeed is a strong man. Is a strong man. Well, Emefiele says is the CBN is trying to shift pressure. What pressure?
Let's take a listen.
CBN is working hard to shift pressure, to shift resources to those areas in order to ease the tension. The situation is substantially calming down since the commencement of the over-the-counter payment to complement ATM disbursements and the use of super agents. There is therefore no need to consider any shift from the deadline of February the 10th.
Okay, that was the Apex Bank governor there. That is Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, talking about shifting pressure on Nigerians. I think by now he already understands the fact that Nigerians are going through pressure. And I saw something on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune the other time. It's something like not going back on the February 10 deadline. Okay, now we have our guest. Let me introduce our guest now. We have our guest, that is Barrister Ajibola Akonji, who is a lecturer at the Faculty of Law, Leeds City University, and Adjunct Department of Politics and International Relations. Good morning, Barrister Ajibola Akonji.
Good morning, Mr. Adedamola Lafenwa.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, it feels so good to have you on the program this morning. Now, being a legal practitioner, we really need your opinion or to shed more light on this issue which is we are going through in our country, Nigeria, these days. Now, it is no longer news that the Supreme Court gave a ruling some days ago, saying that the CBN should maintain the status quo, that the old Naira note should still remain legal tenders as of February 10. But what we have these days, starting from I think over the weekend, but it became more intense yesterday, that virtually all outlets, including filling stations, even the banks, are now rejecting the old Naira notes. Now, let me start from here. Should people be rejecting this old Naira note, going by the ruling of the Supreme Court, which we believe is the apex, the all-in-all, when it comes to the law of the land?
All right. Once again, thank you very much, Mr. Alafenwa, for bringing me on board. Okay. Well, as you introduced me, I'm a legal practitioner, but because the matter at hand is more of sub judice, is before a competent court, and I understand it is coming up this morning at the Supreme Court in Abuja, I will restrict my contribution to that of a social scientist. Okay. Anyway, you will still see the legal element in it. Okay. Number one, does the CBN have the legal authority to embark on the tax, which is currently undertaken? The answer is yes. Okay. The CBN Act empowers the Central Bank of Nigeria to call in notes and issue new notes. Okay. However, This has to be done in accordance with the law. A cursory look at Section 20, sub 3 of the CBN Act says, if directed to do so by the President of Nigeria, that is, such activities can only be undertaken when the CBN receives directives from the President of the Federal Republic. Now, some states, Kaduna, Zamfara, and Kogi, went to the Supreme Court, took out an ex parte application to give something like a temporal restraint on the actions of the CBN. And the Supreme Court graciously granted their prayers that, look, on the interim, temporarily, let the hold notes remain legal tender. The implication of that till today is that, till this morning, is that the old notes are still legal tender. That is what the Supreme Court says. However, there are some contentions that the CBN was never made a party, and by so the order of the court cannot bind on them. Like I read out the other time, the act, the statutory provision that empowers the CBN to undertake this endeavor, that is to change old notes to issue new ones, is express enough. It says, if directed by the president. There is something called principal and agency. Let me chip in this. Look, the action of government is built on three arms of government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Within the executive arm of government, there are what we call ministries, departments, and agencies, which are more or less units or subunits of the executive. And the important thing is that they are still liable to the head of the executive. They are not completely autonomous. They are still subject to the supervision of the executive arm of government. So an order given against your principal automatically binds you. Yes, the CBN can sue and be sued in its own name. However, the Attorney Generals, the Honorable Attorney Generals of Kaduna, Zamfara, and Kogi were smart enough. If a state wants to sue the federal government, they have a right to proceed straight to the Supreme Court. However, if another ministry or agency is joined as a party, you will need to start the matter at the Federal High Court. So to avoid that, and in view of the economic realities that the CBN policy is invoking on Nigerians, they did not add the CBN, and they proceeded straight to the Supreme Court. They only joined, they only sued, they instituted an action against the federal government alone. Now, any order against the federal government binds all its agencies,
including the CBN.
Including the CBN, Section 20 sub 3. You can Google it. Nigerians can Google this.
I've already seen it. I've already read it, but I just want it to come from the mouth of a legal practitioner too.
You can do us a favor by reading it out and lay emphasis on if directed, and after giving reasonable notice. If directed to do so by the president, if a principal directs an agent to take out an action, and an order of court now binds that principal, restraining it from doing the action again, will the agent continue to do such act?
Not at all.
Yeah. That's the way I see. That's my own take on
okay,
it.
now you have help us to. You've talked about this the issue of CBN not the Supreme Court not having jurisdiction on the CBN. It has been sorted out. Now, coming to this, should the people or these outlets be rejecting the old narrow notes today?
Well, as a law-abiding citizen, we should all obey laws. It's not about how convenient it is for us or not. Even laws of the magistrate, orders of the magistrate, must be obeyed to the letters.
But the banks are even are not accepting this old naira notes anymore, starting from I think since Monday. So
my position will remain the same. Both natural persons and institutions must obey court orders. The court order till this moment, 15th of February 2023, is that the old notes remains legal tender. There is an interim order which might be vacated this morning or not. They are at the Supreme Court now. But what the court order says till this moment is that the old note remains legal tender, and we should all obey laws.
Okay.
That's my understanding of it.
I like your submission.
I like your submission, sir. I've been listening to all that you've said so far. It seems as though there is confusion out there. As of this morning when I was coming, I experienced not one, not two, but three keke drivers refusing to get this old naira notes from people, and they were stranded on the road. Is there an agency or a harm that is sensitizing the public that as at this moment that these old naira notes are still legal tender, and stop, making the all of Nigerians feel the hardship that we've been
because Nigerians are confused as of this morning.
I mean, the question she just put to me is a very technical word, and I'm sure if she has a wish, she would have put it to the governor of the CBN.
Yes.
I would have expected. You see, the problem created is that the CBN did not, in quote, respond to the order of the court. It should have given an official position.
Yes.
We received the order, or we read it on television, or we had it on radio, or we read it on the pages of newspaper that the Supreme Court has said so. As an agency of the federal government, we are duty bound to obey the law. So,
but the CBN hasn't come out to say that.
Yes, that's what I expected.
And that is what is bringing the confusion now.
That is what is giving the confusion.
And
even if the CBN has not done that, the office of the Attorney General of the Federation should have done that.
Okay.
Yes, that's the Chief Law Office of the Federation.
Definitely.
They should have done that to have educated the citizenry, the populace, on the implication of that interim order. But to the best of my knowledge, they did not do that, and that's the reason for the confusion.
Okay, I'd like to say a very big thank you to you, Barrister Jibola Akanji, who is a lecturer at the Faculty of Law, Leeds City University, and adjunct Department of Politics and International Relations. Thank you very much for being on the program this morning, sir.
Appreciate you, sir.
The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine.
Thank you very much, sir. Well, the show continues. It's still AM Update on Solutions 93.9 FM. You just listened to a legal practitioner explaining how it's going on the new naira notes, the rejection of the notes and everything, stating that
we should all obey
law. And the law, as of this morning from the Supreme Court, says the legal tender, the old naira notes are still legal tender, except, of course, it is not, it's being cancelled or ruled out from the court. But we have Dr. Cornerstone very soon on the show. Then we'll open the lines for you to, be a part of the program this morning. Good morning to you, Dr. Cornerstone.
Dr. Cornerstone, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you.
Good
morning. How is your day?
Going on smoothly. I think we are adapting to this things going on in Nigeria these days. We are
going on adaptedly.
Okay, Dr. Cornerstone, you listened to Barrister Jibola Akanji shedding light on the Supreme Court order and how it is binding on the CBN. So, what is your take on all those things happening?
Can you say it again? Can you say it again? That it is what?
Okay, that talking about the shedding the light on the fact that the CBN ruling is binding on the CBN as well, but people have started rejecting the old naira notes. That means going against the ruling of the Supreme Court, and even the banks too are now rejecting the old naira note, which is causing a lot of confusion out there.
Well, I want to say here that Well, if it's a lawyer and a legal luminary, we are always only using public opinion and research to actually look at these issues. Number one, I'd like to say that what we heard that is an injunction that was given, and that there's a sitting on the issue depending on the determination today.
Okay.
So if an injunction was given, the question I'd like to ask is, who are parties to the suit?
He mentioned it. He said, okay, if the CBN is not, it is the federal government and the state governors are the party, but the CBN is also an agency under the government. So whatever binds the government is also binding all the agencies under the government.
And the question, therefore, is to ask us is this. Is it only 3 states of the federation that make the federating units of Nigeria? Why did the case, therefore, not give the opportunity to other states to join in?
It's so far, as of this morning, we see Ogun also, joining
and even
Kaduna,
Ekiti
Zamfara,
too.
Kogi. When this suit came out, offered to the Supreme Court, I asked the question.
So the issue, therefore, is very clear. If other of the federation are joining in this case, it therefore means the case this morning at the Supreme Court, they have to have an adjournment. It says that more states of the federation will join, because the time frame for joining a case is about a month or so. You understand what I'm saying? And it's spelled out in the Constitution of Nigeria that when it is affecting a state, it may also be affecting another state. So you have to have an opportunity for states to join in. You remember the case of the issue of taxes when it comes to value-added taxes, where a case was brought to the Supreme Court, and within a month or two, over 15 states joining in. So we will have to hear, because you cannot do a judgment that concerns the whole federation, and you do it just because 1 or 2 or 3 states in the federation have joined in. That's number one. Number two, no matter how you want to see the federal government and having an agency, that is a lopsided thinking. Every agency has to be joined because it is an independent. It's independent. As long as an agency is independent, you have to join it. You cannot take me to court and the case is, you cannot take my father to court and I am the one who did the thing. And you cannot take me to court and say my father showed up, then you will jail me in my absence. I just have to say my thing.
But Dr. Konoston, a few days ago, we had senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, on a TV program, and he stated categorically that as long as the federal government is a party to that, they know this law more than we do. And he said it.
Sir. Let me tell you this. Hello, sir. Hello.
Yeah,
hello,
I'm with you.
That's an inference. That is an inference.
Okay.
That's an inference. There's no law in Nigeria that guarantees that. That's an inference. Meaning that if you took Okonofor to court, whoever shows up is Okonofor. No. I am telling you that the law establishing the CBN makes it an independent arm. That's why it has a governor.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
All right.
The CBN is like a state government in Nigeria.
Okay, now let's go.
CBN,
let's
the
leave
CBN is under the listen, sir.
Okay,
it's under the ambience of the federal government, but it's addressed as though it's a state government. That's why the person in charge is a governor, and he serves a term of 4 years twice, as though it's an elected governor. You understand? So though appointed, if you cannot say it's just like this is the Muslim we don't like. You understand what I'm saying?
But do you, if you're saying that the CBN,
I'd like to ask you a question. No, I'd like to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Now the federal government is brought to book, and the CBN is representing it, and the CBN is not following federal government to explain what federal government is doing.
Okay. Now I'll answer that question with a question.
How do you say so?
I'll answer the question with a question. Now the CBN, though you said it's independent, it's an independent body, but when it comes to monetary policy, the CBN can't single-handedly carry out any policy without getting the instruction from the president, who is the head of the government, which doesn't make it totally independent.
This is a haircut. It says with the effort, with the support, the approval of the president, the CBN can go on. Am I correct?
Yes.
This thing is clear. You said my son slapped your own son. And you came to my house and dragged me. And you said I don't have to take my son with me to explain to you to slap your son.
Okay.
That's what you're saying. You came and said my son slapped your own son. And I said, okay, sir. please let me come and answer to you why we are very, very sorry. But you say, no, don't bring your son. It's only you we need. No, my son needs to still come around to explain why he had to slap your own son. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? The law is not in itself absolute. There are other things you have to join to it. You get me?
Okay.
I believe the CBN is to be joined to that case as long as there is an act of parliament, an act of the constitution making it independent. They need to be joined to that.
Okay. Now,
and let me also tell you that as long as the right to engage in that policy that we are currently all having to grapple with, as long as the Supreme Court has not vacated the permission given by the president, if the court has not vacated that permission, that letter, to call it probably null and void, CBN is still acting well. And I want to say that decision, the Supreme Court, is also biased, because the first thing the Supreme Court is to do is to say, based on this law, we vacate that letter, that approval given by the president. If the approval has not been vacated, then it means the constitutional responsibility of the Supreme Court in deciding this case is actually also biased.
Okay, Dr. Colonstone.
You gave an injunction on what?
Because of our time, I would suggest that you need to add one profession to your cap now. You need to go and start. Because you sound so much like a lawyer. But let's put that aside.
I actually studied law.
Okay.
Because that I didn't want to do the wahala.
Okay, now let's put that aside now. I want you to answer this in 2 minutes. Let's put that aside now. Let's leave it all the law and everything. Now, what Nigerians are experiencing at the moment, do you feel the CBN should have at least giving us more time? Because now the banks are rejecting it. The banks are because I know you have always been a very strong supporter of this policy, but let's look at the practical thing.
No, not just the supporter of the policy. Let me tell you this.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm with you.
A policy that is overdue. You get me? Every policy has got a time of adaptation. You get me? Okay. That is the time of adaptation. Whether the time is too short or not, it remains to be debated. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yes.
Once a policy has got an option, you will have to adapt. The option is transfer. You get me? It has got and then transfers is internet. It's something that you still have to be patient with. I get you what I'm saying.
But the policies, are they not meant to make life better? The policies, any form of policy, are policies not meant to make the lives of the citizens better and to make things easier for them?
Let me now speak to you right now on the word crisis. The word crisis.
Okay.
What we're having now is a crisis, not chaos.
It is, of course.
You must know the difference between crisis and chaos is that crisis happens when a road is being constructed. Everybody on that road, the erosion that will be disturbing everybody, the movement will be very, very terrible. But a road is being constructed. Once the road finishes construction, you will forget all the problem and all the crisis you ever experienced on that road. This is a work in progress, and I want to say to you, there is an option for you. If you want to get your money across to someone, use the option of a transfer. And if the transfer did not go as I'd expected almost immediately, give them your phone number and let them call you.
You're talking about cash transfers. There are people who are illiterate, who can't operate these things. There are people who can't do. We are talking about over 200 million Nigerians now.
Not over 200 million Nigerians. Listen, sir. There are some people who will suffer enough in order to migrate. There are some people who will learn enough in order to migrate. There are some people who will not have any other option but to migrate. I'll mention three for you.
Okay.
The ones who will suffer enough, the ones who will learn enough, and the ones who don't have an option enough. All of them will have to migrate. Can you go to America, even to Benin Republic here, and say there are people who don't have a bank account and they're both 18 and they're making transactions, they're making a living? Nobody can trace my money. Nobody can also trace your money. And you're happy with that? My brother, it's free. Whatever will bring gain sometimes has pain. You understand? I am not therefore saying that what the CBN has brought on us, the pain and the strategy. Okay, every house is built, and if a house has to be built, let me tell you, the man who even starts the cement to paint the house will receive some cement on his face. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? This policy, I believe, is meant for the progress of Nigeria. Okay. As I speak to you right now on a daily basis. On this basis, we are receiving this that the naira is appreciating. Why? Because nobody now has at home to go and be using to pursuing dollars.
At the same time, people don't even have it to buy the little things they need in their houses too.
Dr. Cornerstone.
People don't have the cash to even buy the little things they need in their households.
The only pain I have, listen, sir. The only thing I want to share with you that I think I have is a case whereby the Nigerian have to buy naira.
Well, as a Dr. Cornerstone, we would like to
and
wrap up right
exactly what the policy listen. That's exactly what the policy is against. You get me? Some people have been access to this naira at the expense of others.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying? If we have said 500,000 naira per week for everyone who is doing a private use of an account, and then somebody has got an ATM to operate to sell the money, it means yes.
Hello, Dr. Cornerstone. Hello.
Okay, we just lost Dr. Cornerstone there. It's the network issue. And also, we would like to continue the program. You mentioned something about building the house and making sure that it's beautiful. So you can make the show more beautiful this morning, give your opinion on the issues that we've laid out today. 0909 88 89 939, 0912 22 22 939. The question I want to ask you is, the old Naira notes right there with you, have the vendors, transport people been collecting the notes from you, or is it that you've been stranded? And also, you can talk about the confusion going on right also.
Let's just let him wrap up. Dr. Cornerstone. Hello.
To conclude on this,
just conclude, just in 60 seconds, please. 60 seconds.
Okay. Let me tell you that there are options now. Bigger options. There are banks now that you open with your own phone number. So it's not as difficult as we think. There are banks now you can transfer 100 naira, 150. Are you getting me?
All right.
What this will bring to in the future, we'll have barcodes where you can scan a goosey, you can scan a goosey in a cup. All these things will remove people cheating us. Do you know that even for the purpose of buying rice, there are 3 types of Congo: 8 cups Congo, 9 cups Congo, 10 cups Congo.
Dr. Cornerstone, we need to wrap up now.
So I want to say to you, let Nigerians be patient. This will work well. Before and after the election, monies will come in. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much also, Dr. Cornerstone, for joining us.
Okay, let's open the phone lines now.
Good morning. We lost the call.
The phone lines to call 0909 8939 and 0912 222 2939. You can as well drop your comment on our Facebook page, Solutions 939 FM. Okay, do we have any? Okay, let's take the comments.
Well, Ayodele Damilola, arguably, INEC has improved over the years. INEC must conduct this 2023 general elections as promised by Mr. President. Although the corrupt political office seekers will be jittery, keep the sensitive materials at the CBN will be safe, because keeping the sensitive materials at the CBN will be safe, because if we are really interested in having this country working, it must be encouraged, as it will add to the credibility of the elections in the aspect of being free, fair and credible. Though it may not be 100% perfection, even of beavers, as there is no perfect system anywhere globally, the step to sensitize the electoral system must start somewhere, so it's good to go.
Okay, keep reading.
Okay, let me keep reading. Omade Adekunle, what's the essence of a policy that is causing more hardships than average Nigerians? A policy that is taking lives of innocent souls. Some people have lost their lives. The recent protests, even some patients have lost their lives in the hospitals due to the inability to pay the hospital bills in cash, because many hospitals do not accept transfer. We have never survived from experiencing economic hardships, erratic power supply, and food scarcity in Nigeria. Now they add Naira crisis to the problem. That's your comment there. And I just want to say, I'm really sorry for the lives that has been lost in the hospitals. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Balkis Onojiran from Ibadan.
Okay, Balkis, let's have your take.
Okay, thank you. Perhaps the memo from the CBN yesterday, some people and organizations were still collecting the old notes. But as of 2 p.m. yesterday, when the memo came out, a lot of people stopped collecting the old notes. Then we saw some people, they stop taking the old note to the bank because they are sure that once they deposit the old note, they won't have
Access to the new notes.
because the new notes are not even available.
They are not available.
Yes. So sadly, now that some governors have started urging their citizens to continue spending the old notes in accordance with the Supreme Court order, isn't that anarchy? And till today, the president has yet to address on this stance. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court order supersedes both the president and Emefiele. We have redesigned Naira in the past, and we didn't experience much hardship and violence. If care is not taken, this CBN policy may incite violence. I'm not sure if you have heard about it. They've started protesting around Songo and Eleyele, and perhaps it may extend to some other parts of Ibadan. And if they start it in other states, I hope another answer is not going to. We are not going to have it. Good morning.
Good morning, Balkis. Thank you very much. Let me take this comment from Oluwaseun Ruth. Did you read that? Oluwaseun Ruth, you read it?
No.
Okay, Oluwaseun Ruth said, good morning. The failure of the CBN governor to put meaningful measures in place before the full implementation of the policy is the cause of all the Naira scarcity because the targeted politicians have outsmarted the policy through the corrupt and greedy officials of the commercial banks. Until CBN starts monitoring the way the commercial banks are disbursing cash on daily basis, that is when the new note can be in circulation. Hence, the more they print the new notes, the less we get it in circulation. The CBN and the government at the center should better do the needful to avoid more hardships on Nigerians.
Okay, Balkis mentioned something about protests in some areas of Ibadan, and if you're around that area, that access, please stay safe and please shun violence. It's really important. We are all experiencing this, and if we can be patient, like the barrister said, if we can be patient, definitely we are going to, see a better Nigeria. This is just for little time. Very soon it's going to be over.
Okay, it's can we still pick more calls?
Let me take this last one for today. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, this is calling from Alaka.
Okay, Ruth, good morning. Let's have a
Yeah,
take.
truly, people are really protesting in the world right now.
Right now?
Yes, this is bad. Because of this new note that we thought it will bring good life for us, now it's really inflicting more hardship than usual. Politicians do not even as successfully be moving up the new note without the collaboration of some of the officials in the sector. So we thought a good policy would have been designed to ensure common man are not inflicted with pain and tension. So if truly the CBN really loves the masses, it's supposed us to be facing all this. Now that we can't even transfer with the old note again. Is this not another hardship looming again? It's so bad. So I want the CBN should please do the needful. But people are really, really hungry. I won't lie to you. I could not even pass that road. I need to turn back and pass through airport. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. I think we just need to eschew violence this moment, and I think Nigerians, like the lawyer said, we need to exercise patience, and let's wait for the outcome of the sitting of the Supreme Court again today to know. Okay, can we pick this last call? Let's pick that.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. Please make it fast, please.
It's Iwo Road, LA, Songo right now. People are protesting and barricade the road. Thanks to the Otuma, Oyo State Road Maintenance Agency.
Why are they protesting? What is their grievance?
The reason why is that majority of the motorists and traders, they reject the old Naira note. So, and how do we expect someone that he has the old Naira and you can't even spend it to purchase any transaction?
And you can't even access the new note too.
Yes, that's the major problem.
That was what I was trying to tell Dr. Cornerstone the other time.
Yeah, please let us remain calm till Supreme judgment come out maybe within 5 hours now, if you know the next thing to do. Because peaceful protest is good, but hoodlums are there to hijack
to
destroy government property. So let us remain calm. Thank God every price is around the corner. Do the needful and put out the bad leadership. That's my own thing this morning. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think It's a convenient time for us to wrap it up for the day. To my message to people out there, let's keep exercising patience and let's eschew violence and wait patiently. Hoping that things will get better. I understand because we in the studio, we are also Nigerians and we are part of it and we experience every single thing you are also experiencing out there.
My name is Favor or Lawrence La. Please stay safe for today.
And my name is Adi Damola Lafenwa, urging you to have a winning Wednesday. Good morning.